The world watched in disbelief. A former American president, the target of an assassination attempt. It was a chilling echo of history, a stark reminder of the fragility of power and the ever-present threat of violence. The attempt on Donald Trump's life, an event shrouded in mystery and controversy, has become a case study in crisis management, security protocols, and the unpredictable nature of political violence. This incident, with its unanswered questions and unsettling implications, demands our attention, not just for what it reveals about the present, but for the lessons it holds for the future. History, as we know, has a habit of repeating itself. The assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. These events, and countless others, serve as grim reminders of the vulnerability of even the most powerful individuals. But beyond the shock and horror, these incidents also offer valuable lessons in preparedness, in the critical importance of security measures, and in the need for constant vigilance against those who would seek to disrupt the very fabric of society through acts of violence. The attempt on Trump's life, while shocking, was not entirely unexpected. The former president, a deeply polarizing figure, had long been the target of threats and animosity.
To truly comprehend the gravity of the situation and glean valuable insights for the future, we turn to an unlikely source, the ancient Chinese text of the I Ching, or the Book of Changes. This venerable tome, steeped in centuries of wisdom, offers a unique perspective on navigating periods of turmoil and uncertainty. The I Ching, with its system of hexagrams representing various life situations, provides a framework for understanding the ebb and flows of change, the interplay of light and darkness, and the importance of adaptability in times of crisis. One hexagram, in particular, resonates deeply with the events surrounding the assassination attempt. Hexagram 36, Ming-Yi, or brightness hiding. This hexagram speaks to a time when clarity is obscured, when truth is hidden, and when one must proceed with caution, concealing their strength and biding their time. It is a time for introspection, for careful observation, and for avoiding rash actions that could exacerbate an already precarious situation. The wisdom of Ming-Yi lies in his emphasis on strategic retreat, on preserving one's resources and strength while waiting for a more opportune moment to act. It is a reminder that sometimes the most effective course of action is not to engage directly, but to observe, to analyze, and to wait for the opportune moment to make one's move. In the context of the assassination attempt, this ancient wisdom takes on a profound significance. The incident, shrouded in mystery and conflicting accounts, demands a careful, measured response.
The assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump sent shockwaves through the nation. On that fateful day, as Trump addressed a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, a lone gunman perched on the roof of the American Glass Research Factory opened fire. The crowd erupted in panic. The Secret Service whisked Trump away to safety, and the gunman, later identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, lay dead, killed by a single bullet to the head. The incident, captured on countless cell phone cameras and broadcast live on national television, became an instant source of national trauma, sparking widespread fear, outrage, and a torrent of questions. Who was this would-be assassin, and what drove him to such a desperate act? Were there others involved, co-conspirators in a larger plot? And perhaps most importantly, how did he manage to penetrate the layers of security surrounding a former president? The official narrative, pieced together from eyewitness accounts, forensic evidence, and the investigations of multiple law enforcement agencies, painted a picture of a lone wolf attacker, a deeply troubled individual driven by a toxic mix of political extremism, personal grievances, and mental instability. Crooks, a former factory worker, at the very site he chose for his attack, had a history of run-ins with the law, a string of petty offenses fueled by alcohol abuse and a hair-trigger temper. His social media presence, a digital tapestry of anger and resentment, revealed a man consumed by conspiracy theories, fueled by right-wing propaganda, and harboring a deep-seated hatred for the former president. But even as an official narrative took shape. Doubts lingered. The investigation, though thorough, seemed to raise more questions than it answered. The timing of the attack, the gunman's choice of weapon, the trajectory of the fatal bullet, all seemed to defy easy explanation.
Thomas Matthew Crooks, the name now infamous, has been at the center of numerous speculations and theories. What drove this man to attempt such a heinous act? To understand Crooks, we must delve into his past, his beliefs, and his state of mind leading up to the assassination attempt. Crooks was a former employee of the very factory he chose as his vantage point, the American Glass Research Factory. Known to his colleagues as a quiet, somewhat reclusive individual, his behavior had recently taken a darker turn. Friends and family noted his increasing isolation and obsession with political conspiracies. His social media archives reveal a man deeply entrenched in extremist views. His posts were rife with anger and vitriol, particularly against political figures like Donald Trump. He believed in a world manipulated by shadow governments and faceless elites, and he saw himself as a crusader against these perceived injustices. This mindset, combined with personal grievances, created a dangerous cocktail of rage and resentment. His descent into fanaticism was gradual but evident to those who paid attention.
The assassination attempt on Donald Trump involved a cast of characters, each playing a pivotal role in the unfolding drama. The primary responsibility for Trump's safety lay with the Secret Service, an elite team renowned for their meticulous planning and rapid response capabilities. Their mission was clear: protect the former president at all costs. However, this incident revealed cracks in their seemingly impenetrable armor. The local police force of Butler, Pennsylvania, also played a significant role, tasked with perimeter security and crowd control. Their coordination with the Secret Service was crucial. The factory, designated as a police assembly point, should have been a secure location, making Crooks' infiltration all the more baffling. The local police, led by Chief James O'Connor, faced immense scrutiny in the aftermath. Their statements, often conflicting, added to the confusion and raised questions about their preparedness to respond. Another key figure was the factory's security manager, Alan Thompson. The Secret Service, the last line of defense for the former president, faced harsh criticism following the assassination attempt. Known for their rigorous protocol and swift action, their apparent failure to neutralize the threat before it materialized was puzzling. The timeline of events suggested that they had Crooks under surveillance for a full 20 minutes before he opened fire. This delay in action was unprecedented and begged the question: what went wrong? Initial reports indicated that the Secret Service had indeed spotted Crooks acting suspiciously. However, their approach was cautious. They needed confirmation of a genuine threat before taking decisive action. This caution, while understandable, proved costly. The critical 20 minutes allowed Crooks to position himself on the roof and prepare for the attack. The agents on the ground were caught in a dilemma, balancing the need for swift action with the risk of prematurely engaging an innocent individual. The Secret Service's internal review highlighted several procedural lapses. The role of the local police in the assassination attempt was equally critical and scrutinized. The Butler Police Department, responsible for securing the rally's perimeter, faced intense pressure to explain their actions or lack thereof. Chief James O'Connor, in his public statements, emphasized that their primary responsibility was crowd control, not internal security of the factory. This delineation of duties, however, did not absolve them of the lapses that allowed Crooks to execute his plan. Coordination between the local police and the Secret Service was supposed to be seamless. However, the events revealed significant gaps in their joint operation. The AGR factory, designated as a police assembly point, should have been one of the most secure locations. Yet, Crooks managed to evade detection and set up his sniper's nest undisturbed. This failure pointed to a lack of proper manpower allocation and ineffective patrol strategies within the designated secure zone. Conflicting statements from the local police added to the confusion.
Section 5. The aftermath, public response, and ongoing investigations. The public's reaction to the assassination attempt was a mix of shock, outrage, and confusion. Social media platforms were inundated with reactions ranging from sympathy to conspiracy theories. In the days following the attack, the demand for answers grew louder. The Secret Service and local police were under immense pressure to provide clear accounts. Congressional hearings were convened to investigate the security lapses. The ongoing investigations unearthed several troubling details. Former President Trump's statements added drama to the unfolding story. His supporters rallied around him, using the incident as a rallying cry. As the investigations continued, the broader implications became apparent.
Section 1. Unraveling the timeline. 20 minutes of mystery. The assassination attempt on former President Trump wasn't sudden. It unfolded over a chilling 20-minute period. These were 20 minutes of mounting tension and missed opportunities. Unraveling this timeline is crucial to understanding the security failures. Crooks was first identified as a potential threat 20 minutes before the shots. He was spotted near the rally perimeter, behaving erratically. Surveillance footage showed Crooks pacing and glancing towards the stage. The Secret Service initiated surveillance on Crooks. Despite observation, they couldn't prevent him from reaching the factory roof. The 20-minute gap remains controversial. Critics argue this delay represents a catastrophic failure. The Secret Service maintains they followed protocols with the best information available. They emphasize the need to balance swift action with avoiding unnecessary escalation. Section 2. The Secret Service's surveillance, a game of cat and mouse. The 20 minutes leading up to the assassination attempt were a tense game of cat and mouse between the Secret Service and Thomas Matthew Crooks. The agents, alerted to Crooks' suspicious behavior, tried to maintain a discreet distance, observing his movements while coordinating their response. Crooks, seemingly aware of the attention he was attracting, moved with a nervous energy, darting between groups of people. The Secret Service, operating under immense pressure, had to make a series of critical decisions in real time. Should they move in and apprehend Crooks immediately, risking a confrontation in a crowded public space? Or should they try to subtly redirect him away from the rally, hoping to de-escalate the situation? Each option carried its own risks and potential consequences. A premature move on Crooks could have sparked panic among the crowd, leading to a stampede. Maintaining surveillance, while cautious, carried the risk of allowing Crooks to slip away or reach his target. Section 3. The elusive ladder and the roof access conundrum. How did Thomas Matthew Crooks access the roof of the American Glass Research Factory? The factory was a challenging target to secure. On the day of the rally, security was tight. The roof wasn't easily accessible. Access points were supposed to be locked. The theory was Crooks used a ladder, but no ladder was found. This fueled conspiracy theories. Some theorized an accomplice. Authorities denied a second party. They argued Crooks disposed of the ladder. The missing ladder highlighted security gaps. Section 4. The fatal bullet. A trajectory of questions. The bullet that ended Thomas Matthew Crooks' life became a focal point of the investigation. Its path raised more questions than it answered. The fatal shot entered the back of Crooks' head, traveling on a slightly downward angle. Crooks was on a rooftop, and his target, former President Trump, was at ground level. The angle of the shot created a perplexing discrepancy. Secret Service agents were all in front of Crooks at the time of the shooting. Their lines of fire did not align with the trajectory of the bullet. This raised the chilling possibility of another shooter. The possibility of a second shooter fueled conspiracy theories. Some suggested Crooks was eliminated before revealing sensitive information. Others theorized a shadowy protector neutralized the threat to the former president. The forensic evidence couldn't definitively rule out a second shooter. The bullet matched Crooks' weapon, but another shot remained possible. The trajectory of the fatal bullet became a symbol of uncertainty and doubt. It highlighted the limitations of forensic science and the elusiveness of truth. Section 5. The Police Assembly Point Paradox. A secure location compromised. The American glass research factory, chosen by Thomas Matthew Crooks for his assassination attempt, wasn't just any random building. Ironically, it was a police assembly point for the rally, meant to enhance security. This designation created a vulnerability Crooks exploited. The factory was supposed to be one of the most secure locations. Increased patrols and restricted access were in place. Crooks, a former employee, knew its layout and weaknesses. The law enforcement presence may have worked in his favor. Increased activity could have masked his movements. Investigations questioned how he penetrated the secure location. Was it human error or a breakdown in communication? Or were there more sinister forces at play? The paradox highlighted the challenge of balancing accessibility with security. Accessibility often creates vulnerabilities for malicious intent. The factory, meant to be secure, became the staging ground for an attack.
The assassination attempt on former President Trump, with its tangled web of events and unanswered questions, resonates deeply with the ancient wisdom of the I Ching, particularly hexagram 36, Ming Yi, or brightness hiding. This hexagram, often associated with times of adversity and concealed threats, offers a framework for understanding the complex dynamics at play in the aftermath of the attack and the importance of a measured strategic response. Ming Yi speaks to a situation where clarity is elusive, where the truth is shrouded in shadow, and where danger lurks beneath the surface of events. It is a time for caution, for restraint, and for avoiding hasty actions that could exacerbate an already volatile situation. The assassination attempt, with its murky details and conflicting accounts, presented just such a scenario, demanding a response guided by wisdom and a deep understanding of the forces at play. The hexagram's imagery is telling. Brightness, representing truth and clarity, is hidden, obscured by layers of uncertainty and deception. This imagery is mirrored in the assassination attempt itself. The truth, the motives of the perpetrator, the security lapses that allowed the attack to occur, the possibility of a wider conspiracy, remained elusive, hidden from view by a fog of speculation, conflicting reports, and official silence. Ming Yi, however, is not a counsel of despair or passivity. It is a call for strategic withdrawal, for a temporary retreat from the front lines to regroup, reassess, and gather strength. It is a time for observation, for careful analysis, and for biding one's time until the opportune moment for action arises. The wisdom of Ming Yi lies in its recognition that direct confrontation, especially in the face of uncertainty and hidden agendas, is not always the most effective course of action. It is a reminder that sometimes the most strategic move is to step back, to observe the unfolding events from a position of detachment, and to wait for the fog of confusion to clear before making a decisive move. In the immediate aftermath of the assassination attempt, the urge to act, to assign blame, and to demand swift justice was palpable. The nation, still reeling from the shock of the event, craved answers and reassurance. However, the wisdom of Ming Yi, the hexagram of brightness hiding, counseled a different approach. Strategic withdrawal, a time for observation, not action. This approach, counterintuitive as it may seem in the heat of the moment, was crucial for several reasons. First, it allowed for a cooling-off period, a chance for the initial shock and outrage to subside, making way for a more measured and rational response. The assassination attempt had inflamed passions and deepened existing divisions. Rushing to judgment, driven by emotion rather than reason, would only have exacerbated these divisions and hindered the pursuit of truth. Second, strategic withdrawal provided the necessary time and space for a thorough investigation to unfold. The assassination attempt, with its many unanswered questions and suspicious circumstances, demanded a meticulous examination of the evidence, a careful reconstruction of the timeline, and a thorough interrogation of all involved. This process, by its very nature, required time, patience, and a willingness to resist the pressure for quick answers. Third, a period of observation allowed the authorities to gather intelligence, to assess the threat landscape, and to identify potential vulnerabilities in the security apparatus. The assassination attempt had exposed weaknesses, both in the Secret Service's protocols and in the broader system of protecting high-profile individuals. A hasty response, focused solely on apprehending the perpetrator, would have left these vulnerabilities unaddressed, leaving the door open for future attacks. The decision to embrace strategic withdrawal, to prioritize observation and analysis over immediate action, was not a sign of weakness or indecision. It was a calculated move, guided by the ancient wisdom of Ming Yi, a recognition that in times of uncertainty and concealed threats, patience, restraint, and a commitment to uncovering the truth are the most effective weapons.
The assassination attempt on former President Trump highlighted a troubling breakdown in communication between security agencies. The Secret Service, local police, and factory security operated in silos, lacking coordination. The 20-minute gap before Thomas Matthew Crooks opened fire illustrated this issue. Information didn't flow smoothly as Crooks moved towards the factory. The Secret Service delayed sharing crucial information with local police. This led to confusion, delays, and distrust among officers. The incident underscored the need for seamless communication and collaboration in security operations.
Section 4. Resource Preservation. Protecting the core amidst uncertainty. The assassination attempt on former President Trump highlighted significant implications for resource allocation and strategic planning. Questions arose about the adequacy of existing security measures and the need for increased vigilance. The attack exposed vulnerabilities, emphasizing the need for investment in security infrastructure and technology. Allocating more resources to security would come at the expense of other priorities like education and healthcare. Policymakers faced the challenge of enhancing security without crippling other essential functions. Protecting soft targets and public gatherings became a priority. Enhancing security required a delicate balance to avoid creating fear and paranoia. The attempt was a symptom of deeper issues like polarization and resentment. It was a wake-up call, emphasizing the importance of investing in security and addressing root causes of violence. Section 1. The necessity of clarity, defining roles and responsibilities. The assassination attempt on former President Trump exposed a critical flaw in the security apparatus, a lack of clear delineation of roles and responsibilities among the various agencies involved. The Secret Service, local police, and factory security personnel operated in silos, hampered by confusion and miscommunication. This lack of clarity had several detrimental effects. It created uncertainty among officers, causing hesitation. Blurred lines made it difficult to assign blame and accountability. It hindered the development of a cohesive security strategy. The solution lay in fostering collaboration, communication, and shared responsibility. Section 2. Post-incident analysis, learning from the brink. The assassination attempt on former President Trump presented an opportunity for learning and improvement. Conducting a thorough post-incident analysis was key. The analysis had several crucial objectives. First, reconstruct the timeline of events to identify critical decision points. This helped understand how the attack unfolded and where it could have been prevented. Second, evaluate the effectiveness of existing security protocols. Were the protocols flawed or not followed? Identify gaps and adapt protocols to evolving situations. Third, assess the performance of individuals and agencies involved. Identify areas for improved training, communication, and coordination. Every breach is a learning opportunity to emerge stronger. Translate findings into concrete actions for enhanced security. The attempt was a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and continuous improvement. Section 3. Continuous improvement, adapting to an evolving threat landscape. The assassination attempt on former President Trump underscored a fundamental truth about security. It is not a destination but a journey. The threat landscape is constantly evolving, with new actors, new tactics, and new technologies emerging all the time. What worked yesterday might not work today, and what works today might not work tomorrow. Protecting high-profile individuals, therefore, requires a commitment to continuous improvement, a willingness to adapt, innovate, and stay one step ahead of those who seek to do harm. This commitment to continuous improvement had to manifest on multiple levels. First, it required staying abreast of emerging threats. This meant monitoring intelligence reports, tracking the activities of extremist groups, and analyzing global security trends to identify potential threats before they materialized. It also meant fostering relationships with international partners, sharing information, and coordinating efforts to counter transnational threats. Second, continuous improvement demanded a willingness to challenge assumptions and embrace new technologies. The assassination attempt had exposed vulnerabilities in traditional security measures. Exploring new technologies, such as facial recognition software, drone surveillance, and predictive analytics, could enhance situational awareness, improve threat detection, and provide security personnel with the tools they needed to stay ahead of the curve. Third, continuous improvement required a culture of learning and adaptation within the security agencies themselves. This meant encouraging feedback from officers on the ground, conducting regular after-action reviews, and being willing to adjust protocols and procedures based on lessons learned. It also meant investing in the training and development of security personnel, equipping them with the skills and knowledge they needed to adapt to an ever-changing threat environment. The assassination attempt, while a stark reminder of the ever-present danger, also served as a catalyst for innovation and adaptation. By embracing the principles of continuous improvement, the security apparatus could transform itself, not just reacting to threats but anticipating them. Not just maintaining the status quo, but striving for excellence in the face of ever-evolving challenges. Section 4. The human element, training, vigilance, and the limits of technology. The assassination attempt on former President Trump underscored the human element in security. Security relies on the judgment, vigilance, and quick thinking of personnel. Technology has its limitations. Cameras can malfunction, and sensors can be bypassed. Technology is only as good as its operators. Training is paramount. Personnel need technical and soft skills. Vigilance is essential. Complacency is the enemy of security. Stay alert and prepared. Foster a culture of responsibility and teamwork. Empower personnel to make critical decisions. Section 5. From Crisis to Resilience, a roadmap for the future. The assassination attempt on former President Trump highlighted the fragility of security and the need for growth. Lessons from this event could build a more resilient security apparatus. This roadmap includes key milestones. First, a shift to a proactive, intelligence-led model. Investing in intelligence and early threat identification is crucial. Second, fostering collaboration and information sharing. Breaking down barriers between agencies is essential. Third, prioritizing the human element and training. Well-trained personnel are the best deterrent. Fourth, embracing innovation and adaptation. The threat landscape evolves and so must security. The assassination attempt was a wake-up call. By learning from the past, the nation can become stronger and more resilient.
A time for reflection and renewal. The attempted assassination of former President Trump reminds us of the fragility of peace and the threat of violence. This incident demands reflection and a renewed commitment to a just and peaceful society. The wisdom of the I Ching, specifically hexagram 36, Ming Yi, offers insights into change and crisis. Ming Yi speaks to concealed threats and the need for strategic retreat and observation. It is a time for introspection and gathering strength until the opportune moment for action arises. This ancient wisdom urges us to resist quick fixes and engage in meaningful reflection and renewal.
Section 2. The enduring lessons. Balancing transparency, adaptation, and the human factor. The assassination attempt on former President Trump holds enduring lessons for security, crisis management, and society. A critical lesson is balancing transparency and secrecy. Another key lesson is the importance of adaptation and continuous improvement. The most profound lesson is recognizing the human element in security. Section 3. A call to action towards a safer, more resilient future. The attempted assassination of former President Trump, an event that shook the nation and reverberated around the world, serves as a potent call to action, a stark reminder that the pursuit of peace, justice, and security is not a passive endeavor, but an ongoing struggle that demands our unwavering attention and collective effort. The path forward, while fraught with challenges, is not without hope. The lessons learned from this near tragedy, if heeded, can guide us towards a safer, more resilient future. This journey begins with a renewed commitment to dialogue, to bridging the divides that separate us, and to fostering a climate of understanding and respect, even amidst disagreement. It requires investing in education, in critical thinking skills, and in media literacy to counter the corrosive effects of misinformation and propaganda. It demands addressing the root causes of extremism, poverty, inequality, and discrimination that create fertile ground for violence and despair. Building a safer future also necessitates strengthening the institutions entrusted with safeguarding our security. This means ensuring that law enforcement agencies have the resources, training, and authority they need to do their jobs effectively, while also upholding the rights and freedoms that define a democratic society. It means demanding accountability and transparency from those in power, holding them responsible for their actions, and ensuring that the pursuit of security never comes at the expense of justice or the rule of law. The assassination attempt, while a stark reminder of the fragility of peace, also served as a testament to the enduring power of hope. In the face of fear and uncertainty, countless individuals responded with courage, compassion, and a determination to create a better world. By embracing the lessons of the past, by working together to address the challenges of the present, and by never losing sight of the values that unite us, we can honor the memory of those affected by this tragedy and build a future where such events are not just unthinkable but impossible.